So basically what I'm trying to say is that the Ideal Breakfast model has helped create long-term active members rather than just somebody that's active for a month and then drops it, you know? So we're also running a meeting with some of the other people in our organisation on a Thursday evening using the academy that they're using over in Belgium, and I've got to say, when it's rolled out to everyone, you're going to be blown away. It's so simple. You can get all your team along to it, so it's a really simple process for you don't have to do so much yourself. Just say, come along on a Thursday evening, you see the HUM, you have your member activation, and then you have a weekly academy on a different subject. You know, it's all a bit of a work in progress at the moment, so we've got some of the slides are coming up in Flemish. So that's a bit of a challenge. I'm like, okay, let's sort of see how we can talk through that. They are gradually updating them each week, and we're sort of sending the English version of it weekly. We missed out this week, didn't we? So that was a bit of a pickle. I was translating Flemish, so that was all good. So yeah, basically, my advice if you're interested in the breakfast model is to go to your upline or anyone that's that's following the breakfast model, and I'm more than happy to talk to anyone about it, and really get an idea of how that float works, and just strip it back bare, just keep it really, really simple, keep every aspect of it simple, keep your presentation so simple. I can do a presentation in 13 minutes. I'm in and out of their house in 20 minutes, and I can see 6, 7, 8 people at a time. Out there onto the next meeting. I used to spend an hour and a half doing wellness profiles just because there was so much detail to it. So yeah, just my time efficiency now is ridiculous. Like, you can just get so much in, which I know for a lot of people is important if you're trying to work around a busy lifestyle. What else do you want me to say?
I think that was literally all the questions I asked. The thing that I just wanted to pick up on there, just to really highlight, I mean, you really did stress the importance of keeping it simple. Is that something that you found prior to this model? Did you find that you complicated it a lot?
I did, and I had reined it in because it had been brought to my attention by Nick that actually I did overcomplicate things. I think that comes from knowing a bit about nutrition and stuff. You felt the need to say more than you really needed to, which what actually happens there is you aren't duplicatable. Nobody can copy you because they haven't got qualifications in nutrition, and they don't need them, quite honestly. That's the point. So that's what I was going on before. Whereas with this, you can't. Well, you could complicate it, I guess, but it's much easier to keep simple because you are just talking about breakfast. It is only 3 products, and anybody can do it. So so it's much easier to keep simple now than it was. I
think as well, from people like ourselves who've come from a fitness industry background, we've got egos. I've got quite big egos.
His is bigger than mine, but yeah, massive.
It's true though. A lot of people, I don't know whether any of you have worked either as personal trainers or you've worked with personal trainers, but there's a lot of ego within that industry. There are exceptions. There are people who are amazing and they're quite humble with it as well. But there's a lot of big egos in it, and I think that for me, like Amy, we like to kind of show off what we know when we were doing wellness profiles, and that's why they lasted for quite a long time. But yeah, the duplication.
It was an excitement thing though, Joe, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this does this, and this does this, and then your cells, and then I used to be a biology teacher as well, so I was like 10 times worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think, I think that's something that, like, Amy is, in the region, one of the absolute best at this model because of that kind of that 13-minute presentation. If you haven't seen the Ideal Breakfast presentation, just have a flick through it. Don't deviate from the slides. Like
I literally read them. Like, Nick was blown away because he's seen me do a wellness evaluation before and going, ugh. Like, everyone that knows Nick knows this, does a lot of hand actions and stuff. And I actually got recognised on stage at Kickoff by Nick for the fact that I have now simplified, because I did a little video for his group, just of the Ideal Breakfast presentation, and actually that really made me realise how quickly I was doing it, because I had to obviously get it into a video that was able to send, because obviously if it was as long as a wellness profile, you'd never get that file off anywhere. So yeah, no, that was good. Yeah, so it's, for me, it's a massive turning point in my business, and for the first time in 4 years, I can really see how I can move up the marketing plan, like just like that. So yeah, but don't get me wrong, there's been a dip before there's been an up, but as Nick kept saying to me, keep the faith. You know you can do it. You know you're in the right place. So, you know, good.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. The reason I asked Amy to do this was exactly that. Was at kick-off, Nick Jarvis was talking about how good her presentation was. The 30 minutes talked about the video and stuff. And I was like, oh, cool, I know her. Brilliant. We can get her to talk about this. But yeah, I think that just know that there will be a dip, as there is with anything when you change your flow. But just work through it. Keep it simple. Trust the process, because it's working for so many other people. If you get a dip, that's fine. That's completely normal. Just keep moving through it. Okay, so next. I'll actually allow you to speak this time, Becky. So you've seen Becky twice already today, but now she's actually going to share what it is that you've been doing, especially over the last 90 days, throughout your kind of qualifications that you've just done, some things you've learned, some successes you've had, and where you're going to go from here.
Okay, I'll start with giving myself a bit of an introduction, because I don't think any of you know me in here, but I started off as a size 18 to 20 in Wales and found Herbal Life through a fit club. I used to work a 60+ hour week, and now I do a 15-hour week. I'm a full-time carer at the moment as well for my husband, because he's waiting for spinal surgery. And the IV flow is fantastic for the simplification, like you said, and the duplication. I've managed to, since I implemented it on the 4th of January, I've gone from a team of 4 in Barnstable, which grew in the first 6 months of living there, to a team of 10. And that's 3rd level deep as well. So the ambassador turning over into HOM. I had one lady, well, I didn't even know, she was Cold Market. She did a post on Facebook on her timeline, I need a new career. I only literally flick it on, see the newsfeed, I don't scroll through it because it's all miserable. And hers popped up, so I messaged her and said, do you want to know about the business? She said yes. So I went there, but I did the IB presentation first, the trial, followed by the HOM. She's now on board, doing her first 500 by the end of the month, and off and away. And that was just purely off there. Then I've had weight loss from who I've had since July. She's never wanted the business, always offered it to her, never wanted it. I keep looking at you instead of everybody else. Always wanted it, and no, never wanted the business, sorry. IV was launched. I brought her back to the Wellness Centre for her first weigh-in after Christmas. Showed her the IV presentation, and she said, oh, I don't know anyone there. So I gave her a text and said, send this to your first 10 Facebook people on your messaging. She did, and she's now a member doing her first 500 VP as well, come through the flow of the IV. And then it was just, yeah, I'm passionate about it. I love it. It's so simple, because I'm an overcomplicator and I'm an overtalker. So,
oh yeah.
Four of us, I think.
I tend to, if I get excited, I'll babble, and I talk with my hands as well. But I do a breakfast flow, absolutely fantastic. Oh, and we're doing a mini HOM once a week in the Wellness Centre, and that's followed by our homemade mat training at the moment, because I messaged Lady Bennett.
I think they put the member activation
just this week.
Yeah. Oh, that's very brilliant. Okay, so I can get that then. Is it? Right, I'll get that then. Yeah. So we've been doing our own sort of thing at the moment.
Fantastic. But yeah. And that's what's, and those kind of little clusters of 500 that you're growing there, that's what's bringing that PV up to
because my own personal PV has dropped in February because I needed to focus on getting those because they all sort of come in and thought, oh God, husband to look after, new team to grow. So I just sort of sat back on myself. But for next week, I've got already down 14 referrals to trial on.
Fantastic.
And 3 of those are Zoom. So it's so simple.
Fantastic.
Something you need to
No, absolutely brilliant. And I just wanted to finish on, could you give maybe 1 or 2 tips to the guys here that you think will benefit them, like a couple of top tips for following this flow or to get into World Team, for example, like you've just done?
Top tips. World Team, so much was a bit like you with getting them to 500, thinking they were okay on their own and leaving them. Whereas with the IV flow, you've got the weekly meeting, you're nurturing them. Okay. So that if you're doing the weekly meeting, because I've never missed a meeting, you need those meetings. So if you're doing the meeting every week, you're doing the member activation training, we have 10 of us, and it's a real ideas,
Yeah.
chuck around me, and how they've made their mistakes. My mistakes, overcomplicating it at the beginning, reading the slides but chucking wellness coaching amongst it. So it's just read word for word what the slides are. There's no, you don't need anything else. The slides do the work. They literally feed us the people because it's all dead simple there. So that would be my biggest mistake. I think it's overcomplicating. It doesn't need it.
There's a pattern emerging here, isn't there?
Yeah.
No, it's good. So I hope everyone's just writing down the notes over and over again. Don't overcomplicate it.
No.
Keep it simple.
Don't talk too much.
Yeah.
Keep it quiet.
Cool. Okay, round of applause. Okay, and then the third member of the panel, most of you know already, but just a quick introduction as well to let people know who you are. And yeah, what have you achieved over the last 9 days? Some guys in the room already know certain things which have happened, and lessons you've learned, successes you've had, and where you're going from there.
Great, okay, so I'm going to start by saying I do talk a lot, except for on very rare occasions when I have shocks or surprises, and then I don't. So Hannah's very kindly bringing out one of my shocks and surprises.
All right.
That's the first time I've been able to touch it all together. Because,
Jay, is that the auction?
you're living very
£5.
yeah,
It's really nice.
yeah, and it should
That's
fit
what I've
me.
seen when I've
Yeah,
done
it's right. So it's a nice mountain bike. So successes, I suppose, we go back to the last quarter of last year. And so this bike represents my success of the last quarter of last year. And just to prove David Bevan wrong, because he said that when people won these, they had no idea what they won them for. So this was one for what was called Category 3, which is the productivity rather than the activity of my downline supervisors, my first line downline supervisors, some of whom are in the room. So we've got Natalie.
It's yours, isn't it?
Well done, Natalie. And so really, for me, that was very emotional as well as being a big shock, because I think for all of us, it's what we succeed for other people as well. And you know that if you get a prize like this, and I've never ridden a bike in 15 years, which is why you're not going to see me go around the car park on it, because I'll probably fall over. I will be riding it though, of course. It's about what this bike represents. So the fact that you can't win another bike, it's about, when you get a prize like this, it demonstrates that you have made a difference in your life, in your customers' lives, and so importantly in the lives of your team, because they're healthier, they're happier, and they're wealthier. And so that is huge. That's what this bike, every time I'm going to look and ride on this bike, that's what this bike means for me. So it is about their productivity. And I think to achieve that, it is about you making that investment in the relationships, which goes back to what Tony started us off at the beginning of the day. So yes, I made it hugely complicated. I went and spent days with Natalie, and we probably did 2 or 3 hour wellness evaluations. But I think what we did is we demonstrated that we cared, and we learnt on the hoof. And so the challenge for me as we go forward is to pare it down, as Amy said. If you're new in the room, it's fabulous, because just stick with the ideal breakfast, because you won't overcomplicate it because you don't know anything else. So if you're new, see that as a real advantage for you. And if you've been around a while, like I have, and some people, I'm looking at Andrew, have been around for a long time, we've got to shed some stuff, and therefore, it may take us a little while to get through the dip, as Amy said. So there's that. There's other promotions. I just want to make you aware of this. As well as the blender, there's always going to be an end-of-year presentation. We got a blender, and we got this amazing backpack bag, which is just super quality. It's like an office on wheels. It's got a place for your laptop. It sits up beautifully. You're more than welcome to look at it and touch it, but don't even try and take it, because it's amazing. So the prizes again are really just like a little boost for you. In terms of this model going forward, one of the challenges for me is that, you know, I listen to the numbers, although I'm not great with numbers, and that is that the warm market is